To a lot of the world, traditional Japanese culture carries a mystical sense. The kimonos, the rituals, the meaning assigned to everyday things. This is chado, or the way of the tea, the art of the Japanese tea ceremony. As a guest, I show respect for the host by paying attention to the preparations in my surroundings. Every part of the ceremony is conducted with close attention to detail. There is little talking, mostly focus and appreciating the small things. The details like the flower arrangement, the heating of the water, the making of the tea. There is meaning and beauty in all of it. Even this building, an authentic Japanese tea house, was specially constructed for this one particular purpose. Today I'm in Seiwa-in Garden, the garden of pure, clear harmony and peace. But despite how it might seem, I haven't traveled to Japan to take part in a traditional tea ceremony. In fact, I haven't even left St. Louis. As a chef, I need to stay curious in order to evolve. For me, that means looking beyond a good meal to learn more about who made it and what inspires them to cook.
La comida es amor.
Every great city has great food. I'm going on a journey around the world, right here in St. Louis. I'm on a quest to find passionate chefs who cooks from the heart.
It's exciting. And I think it's the best.
To prove that food is love.
It's gonna be delicious.
Food is love. Love your food. The Missouri Botanical Garden is a historical landmark and easily one of the best botanical gardens in the country for several reasons. One of those reasons is the Japanese garden. It is, after all, the largest Japanese garden in the Western Hemisphere, designed by renowned Japanese landscape architect Professor Koichi Kawana. Most people are unaware that St. Louis have a large and vibrant Japanese culture, going back to a time during World War II when a number of Japanese Americans relocated to St. Louis to avoid being held in internment camps out west. The influence of their culture has become part of the St. Louis identity, and people like my friend Yuko here help to keep those traditions alive. The food scene is no exception. To illustrate this point, I'm going to an event tonight that has a Japanese theme, the Red Lantern Night Market, held at a venue called the Mad Art Gallery.
Wadaiko, or Japanese drumming, is based on ancient art which has been in Japan for thousands of years. But more recently, as recently as 1951, it was turned into sort of a jazz fusion stage performance art by Oguchi Dahachi sensei, who also started Osu Wadaiko in Japan, and then in 1986 came to St. Louis and started St. Louis Wadaiko, which is us.
The event is highlighting local Japanese drums, dress, calligraphy, and there will of course be food. The night market is hosted by a Japanese-American pop-up kitchen, Izakaya Club. I can't wait. This looks just phenomenal. Let's do it. Walking into the night market, the first thing I see is this. Izumi, a tiny Japanese fire truck turned sando pop-up cart. Chicken yakitori and colorful milk bread sandos are a feast for the eyes.
I'm trying to mimic konbini food, which is convenience store food. It's a lot more entrenched in Japanese society because they're always on the go, so they're always looking for something good. So it's not the same sort of gas station food stigma that is here. You actually get a really good meal at a konbini. I do about 70–80% pre-orders, and they sell out very quickly these days. And then I have a little bit for walk-ups.
I've heard a lot about this food, but this is my first chance to try it. And I think we need more stuff like this. Pure genius and evidence of the vibrancy of the food scene. There's a lot going on here, but it's exciting. Traditional Japanese drum group, check. A kimono expert with kimonos you can try on, check, check.
St. Louis is a hotbed for traditional Japanese culture in the United States.
There's a Japanese fortune teller here.
And you are very quick to grasp situations. Those are your assets.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And music from the local lounge Takashima Record Bar. That's my name in Japanese. This is like a free pass to all the good sushi bars in St. Louis. To pull off a Japanese-themed event like this, you need a lot of resources from the community. The lineup tonight makes it obvious that Japanese culture is well represented here in St. Louis.
If you can see, there's harmony among guests and also hostess, and respect.
Such a wonderful culture. This is Heidi and her partner Jonathan, the duo that is Izakaya Club, Cowboy Samurai. This is an incredible night.
We wanted to showcase the Japanese American Society because they're an amazing nonprofit. And they're a little bit about like what we are, like the Izakaya Club. We're, you know, Cowboy Samurai. It's a little bit American, a little bit of Japanese, and being able to introduce that to a lot of people in St. Louis, that they would like pretty much get us. You know, because a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to eat that, or I don't eat Japanese because it's just sushi. I don't do seafood. And we're trying to introduce like the barbecue and Midwestern stuff, and you know, but keeping like the traditional side also with it.
You're famous for your sushi.
Oh yeah.
Everybody is looking at because it's like a work of art.
Before the quarantine, we only catered to country clubs in St. Louis and like big corporations because it kept us busy enough to do that. And then after, because of COVID, we were like, okay, every single one of our things shut down, and we're like, what are we gonna do? You know, and I'm like, there's people that like my sushi, so I'm just gonna slowly, you know, put pictures out and be like, hey, do you want to buy one? I was like, well, if I make you one, will you tag us? And that's how it all started, and it was like really word of mouth.
Well, I mean, that's the best kind. That's the solid kind of marketing. Both Heidi and Jonathan has lived past lives in different kitchens all around the city, coming together to form a fluid fusion of both of their expertise. Cowboy Samurai. In Japan, an izakaya is a pub or a tavern that serves small plates. Ultimately, a brick and mortar place is in the plans. But for now, Izakaya Club is thriving through catering, themed dinners, and pop-up events like tonight, serving modern Japanese pub fare, bringing together culture and tradition to create an immersive and exciting food experience.
We respect everybody. There's no hierarchy among guests. There's no such thing as you're higher in a society, nothing. We are all equal respect.
And we are all even when we eat.
That's correct.
We're all the same. It doesn't matter what you look like.
That's exactly right.
If you're rich, poor, I love it. That's beautiful.
We're just like booked out for like 2 months, and it's like.
So we're gonna have to catch up with you, and you're gonna have to show us all that.
Yes, I have to show you all that.
You know, I love sushi, and.
Do you?
Yeah. Jonathan and Heidi has invited me to come to their favorite place to escape in their downtime. Vikings meets the samurais.
Yeah.
Should we fight?
I'm too old for that now. Let's just eat. A place where they can R&D food for their next pop-up, disconnect, and regroup with friends. Mineral Point is about an hour out of the city, but it feels like a whole other world. It's beautiful here. The view on the water, nature, and serenity. But what did it for me was the kitchen. Heidi, Jonathan, and Heidi's dad, Hamasan, meet here with friends pretty regularly to relax, fish, and cook, but mostly cook. This place is like a test kitchen. No, a lab. A place where creative ideas live alongside of tradition. East meets West. Cowboy Samurai. The spread they have planned for us today has me wishing it's dinner time already. But before that can happen, there's plenty to do. And it looks like a course in sushi making is in my future.
So this is the amount of rice usually for a basic roll. And then when you push it,
wow.
You know, some people try to like get it and they have all these things. I'm like, just take your rice, boom, there you go, you know.
That's a great trick.
Yeah. And then with seaweed also, the rough side right here, you want to make sure that that's where the rice goes on.
Okay.
And then the shiny side,
that's supposed to be outside.
Yeah. Making a roll, like kind of, so you want to make sure also, a lot of people will try to press. You're just kind of rolling the rice, and you want to roll it to where you don't see the seaweed anymore. So. I like this because it kind of grinds up your sesame seeds, so you get that flavor, more flavor to come out.
So this is just the roasted sesame seeds?
I will show you how to make the basic California roll first.
Okay, but don't you frown upon people that eat California roll, or you think it's like
I don't frown about it because that's a safe roll to like introduce someone to sushi when they're kind of like scary with fish. And then once they like that, they're like, oh wow, maybe I can eat this, and then you kind of move them towards like the rainbow roll, because it is a California roll with like little raw pieces of fish on top. So they only get a little bit of it, so you kind of like, you know, you're kind of introducing them.
Wean them.
Yeah, you wean them to like, see, you like that? Okay, then maybe you can have this, or maybe you can have that, you know? It's a little crab mixture, like little real crab, a little kanikama crab, and we use a little bit of soy sauce, some Japanese mayonnaise, and a little bit of sesame oil just to give it a little flavor. And so it gets sticky, so it stays and it's not falling apart. So you can take a little bit, and you want to put it down. And you don't want to put too much because you still have to put everything else in there.
So do you have to press it? So
you don't have to press it too much. You just want to make sure it's like in the line, and then I'm going to give you some avocado, and I kind of like just sticking it in there like that.
Okay.
And then these cucumbers, you just stick right there. When we roll, you're basically wanting to make sure this end, when it rolls, hits this part.
Okay.
Okay. So from the side, you can see where I'm at. You want to, and then you want to take your hands, your fingers up here. So your thumbs are on this side, and then your fingers are here. As you're rolling this up, you want to push this in.
Okay.
And kind of hit that spot. Yes. And then kind of squeeze in. And then you're going to take this, and then one more roll. And then kind of roll it, and then squeeze. And then you want to make sure this part's on the bottom.
All right.
Yes, wow, look at you. A lot of people try to press and then go like this. Your roll will smash. So you just gotta like rock it.
Okay.
A little bit, So you're just kind of like, some people display it like that.
It looks delicious. Japanese cuisine in America, most people think it's just a roll, or different kinds of rolls, and maybe, nigiri and sashimi, but it's also a lot of other things that we don't really see over here.
In St. Louis, kind of when people are like, oh, I'm gonna go eat Japanese, they don't really know like the deep down, the street food, like, all these little things that he used to have at his restaurant, which is what I miss. And so we're trying to, bring a lot of that back. A lot of it's affordable and so good, and you can order a bunch of it like tapas style and come with your friends, drink, eat. It's not just sushi. It's so much other food. There's so much food, affordable food, delicious food, all kinds of food.
Watching Heidi's dad work, you get the feeling that you are witnessing a master at his craft, and indeed you are. In his younger days, Hama-san was trained in traditional French cooking, just the same as me. He was even a baker at one point. Eventually, he opened up his own restaurant, combining French and Japanese food. Hama-san isn't in the restaurant business anymore, but that doesn't mean he spends any less time in the kitchen. He stays busy helping with Izakaya Club. In preparation for tonight, he marinated and smoked scallops, octopus, bonito, and duck. So what do you get when you cross Japanese and French cuisine? A smoked duck breast sushi, of course. The best of both worlds, tuna and foie gras, torched foie gras with a little gold leaf on it. Foie gras sushi, my mind is blown. Meanwhile, Jonathan has his own magic working. Pot grill guru and equal pot sake scientist. Ask him about it, and right away you can see his passion for smoked meats and sake. but more specifically, blending Japanese flavors into traditional American things, like his umami burger.
Instead of making a traditional barbecue sauce, how can I cook with microbes? How can I cook with something that is beyond chemistry of cooking on a stove, but I'm actually letting something ferment and take its time to become naturally umami, to become naturally sweet.
Through time and fermentation of koji mold spores, Jonathan has developed a sort of yogurt that he folds into his burgers before cooking, giving them a nutty, almost Parmesan-like flavor. Without seasoning or cheese, it's an innovative and interesting idea, and it's delicious.
I knew when I discovered this that I had an opportunity to cook with microbes. And I thought, well, if I can make chemical satisfaction, you know, like if I can make
chemical satisfaction.
It is. It's umami. All the enzymes, it hits your palate and it goes to your brain and it says satisfied. And so I thought, wow, you know, if I can do that with fermentation, I think I'm set the rest of my life. So we actually dust our popcorn with this. You put your palm out. So it's like a koji, it's white pepper, malted koji rice, and sea salt. Blended together and put it on. I put it to cure things so that aftertaste, if you notice, really sticks with you. And that's something that when I eat food and I find that, I go, man, I gotta go back.
And this, the zucchini dog, it sounds so simple, but to reach a level of consistency, Jonathan has spent time to learn how to get it right.
We score them. I put this salt on there. I let them cure in the fridge overnight, and then I put them on the barbecue smoker and let them shrink down a little bit.
It's not only the cowboy side of cowboy samurai that Jonathan represents. A deep respect for sake and the process of making it has led him down the path of fermentational enlightenment. How you were fermentating this relationship,
Once I get that nice cherry smoke on there, it's got that umami inside, it's a little sweet, but I'm not adding any processed sugars, I'm just adding sugar straight from the rice that's been activated.
I may not have a tight grip on everything Jonathan is talking about, but I do understand the taste and the smells. He has meat in the smoker and zucchini dogs nearly ready to go. I wasn't sure to expect when they asked me to spend the weekend here, but for what I've seen so far, I'm glad I said yes. Heidi has started to arrange every kind of sushi imaginable onto a large display that Hamamura made from found driftwood. This is why they stay booked with catering, a feast for the eyes. With so much food on the way, Heidi has invited a few industry friends out for dinner. Guests will be arriving soon, but there is somewhat of a tradition Heidi keeps every time she comes here, looking for quartz crystals around the lake shore. And they're everywhere. I have to admit, this is pretty fun. Oh, it sparkles. As a bonus, we stumbled on some wild blackberries and they're ready to pick. Are they sweet?
Some of them are, like if you have to tug at it, they're not sweet, but if they come like right off, they're sweet.
There's always these thorns with blackberries, right? Well, I mean, that's the thing, is you gotta get in there. In DeSoto we have them, and then you gotta get past the snakes and the chiggers. We don't have chiggers down here, right?
Everywhere.
They're
really?
Everywhere,
You're like, oh my God.
I've said it before, it's the simple things. Being out here really makes you slow down and appreciate the small moments. Over on the dock, Hamamura is cleaning the fish he caught today to prepare for dinner tonight.
I'm not doing like American people doing it.
No?
Many people, they don't do scale off, but this, usually I like to eat the scale with so make sure the scale, clean up the scale first.
To most Midwesterners, these fish would be considered too small to fillet, but Hamamura doesn't fillet them. He leaves them mostly whole. Scaling these small bass and leaving the skin on will give him that extra little crunch once they're fried later.
Yeah, everybody's doing fillet, so that's why they don't do it. This one most of very comfortable to eat.
It doesn't get any fresher than this. If you would have told me that I had to drive an hour and a half south of St. Louis to have the best sushi I've ever had in my entire life. I probably wouldn't have believed you, but... Guest has begun to arrive. Representatives of a handful of other St. Louis restaurants. Kurt Belliam from Izumi is here. Alex Cup from Stella Hog. It's starting to feel like a summer camp for chefs. As the food is finishing up and the sun is setting, there's enough time for a game of bags with new friends. Close but no cigar. I have to remind myself it's not about winning.
Ooh, yes!
And then this, dinner time. What an incredible display of food and skill. Prime rib, more sushi, barbecue, smoked burgers, Hamasan's fried fish, zucchini dogs, and all the sides to go with it. What a great night. A perfect ending to a day I won't soon forget. When you have a bunch of chefs in the kitchen, the night almost always ends like this. This is the part the guests never see. It's morning and it's peaceful here. The kind of peaceful that makes you question if it's worthwhile going back to the daily grind. But those kind of questions can be dangerous if I seriously entertain them. So I'm about to hit the road and get back to my restaurant. But before I go, I join Heidi at the dock for a little fishing and reflection. So the izakaya, that's something in Japan that means like pub? Or?
It's like a Japanese pub, yeah.
Okay.
You can go there, get affordable food, beer, and sake and soju and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like really affordable but really good. And nobody does that out here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It's a baby.
Sushi for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible weekend with all the food. I mean, you made way too much food.
That's actually little compared to what we usually do out here.
I mean, you put the love in food is love for me yesterday, for sure.
Awesome.
And the sushi was amazing, and the company was amazing. What a great weekend!
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
So,
thanks for coming out.
When are we doing this again?
Whenever you want.
To have been here to see Heidi work alongside her father is a beautiful thing. To be honest, I probably see a little bit of myself in this situation. When you have a chance to apprentice with a master who just happens to be your dad, it's special. A direct passing of the torch, even if you don't realize it at the time. And under the tutelage of Hamasan, Heidi has developed her own style, maintaining the same focus and attention to detail. To put it simply, you know Heidi's food when you see it, and when you had it yourself, you get it. I think I get it now. On the surface, the tea ceremony seems like it's about the tea, but in reality, it's about developing deeper appreciation for everything, noticing the details. I came here thinking the story was about the sushi, only to develop a deeper appreciation for everything they do at Izakaya Club, from the sounds and the food from the Red Lantern Market to spending time in the kitchen with Hamasan, the pioneering work that Jonathan is doing with sake, koji molds, and umami flavors, to eating food made for me by a master. And yeah, the sushi was unbelievable, but so was getting to know all the people behind it. Japanese culture and influence are living parts of the St. Louis fabric. What Heidi and Jonathan are doing isn't just a part of it. They're helping to promote it, to grow it. My visit has coming to an end here, but as I learned from the tea ceremony, I'm trying to appreciate all the little moments. In older times, even the samurai was required to leave his swords outside of the tea house, because inside the tea room, no matter your stature in life, everyone is considered equal. Food is love, so tea is also love, because we are preaching the same things: respect, tranquility, harmony.
Yes.
Food has brought me to places I never would have gone, introduced me to new ideas, and revealed here yet another cultural facet that contributes to the brilliance of the St. Louis food scene. I was inspired by all the flowers in the botanical garden and Heidi Skye. This is a scallop carpaccio. Food is love.